Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Friday, September 22nd. And obviously, the big headlines is going to be the heat, not only again for today, which I think will have a chance to break more record highs, and potentially for the second day in a row set a new record high for so late in the day. We'll have to keep an eye on cloud cover. That would be the limiting factor. But again, we expect high temperatures near the lake in the mid 80s, maybe upper 80s, but inland areas could see temperatures up close to 93, 94, 95 degrees in some areas. So a very warm day today, and we expect upper 80s to low 90s, and so we could set some more records over the weekend. We expect the warmth to continue at least into Tuesday before a cold front comes through. And that'll bring us a chance of showers and a few thunderstorms. But again, right now, even precipitation with that event doesn't look like it'd be real significant. So we need the rain, but I don't see a whole lot of rain out there. Obviously, if you get under a thunderstorm, that can be the exception, much like what we saw yesterday. And we'll show you that in a minute. Now, some of the records, you can see Middleton, the warmest spot, 95.8 degrees, and that was also the max for the year. Broke the old record of 92 set back in 1908. So it is the warmest for so late in the season and the warmest of the year. And the scenario also for Lansing at 94.2 degrees, broke the old record set back in 1895. Breckenridge and Clarksville also setting new record highs, and for so late in the season for Breckenridge. So again, a very hot day out there. 7 areas hit 90 degrees plus. A couple other ones like Marlette, very close, like 89.9 degrees. So lots of heat, and we expect that to continue right through the weekend into early next week before we see some changes. That'll, I think, by the end of next week, take our temperatures into the 70s, maybe only into the 60s. So we'll keep an eye on that cooling trend for later next week. Temperatures out there this morning, very warm and muggy. Temperatures in the upper 60s for most areas, some low to mid 60s, again, near the lakes. And if we look at precipitation here, storm totals for yesterday and today, you can see there were some very significant thunderstorms from just southeast of Grand Rapids or towards DeWitt, St. John's, around the Lansing area. Again, the station at Lansing only picking up 0.11 of an inch, but not too far from there, very heavy rainfall. And again, Clarksville, 1.61. And there were actually some areas near Clarksville and up here towards the DeWitt area picking up around 3 inches of rain. So very significant in this band here. Another isolated area, probably about 2 to 4 inches as you get down towards some of those areas around Battle Creek and the Kalamazoo area. And again, we expect just a little less chance of that to happen today. But you can see on the satellite at the very beginning, we can see some of these thunderstorms pop up and disappear, and then you can see the thunderstorms overnight last night into this morning. And you can see, of course, our thing that wouldn't leave there, the old Hurricane Jose, just hanging around, 3 weeks strong and still going. Now extra tropical, low pressure system, but producing some pretty blustery conditions up across the New England states near the shore. As far as radar, you can see most of the activity this morning now moving up through Minnesota, where there were severe thunderstorm warnings off to the Northland, and then severe thunderstorm watches just north of the Minnesota border. And you can see at the very beginning of this radar loop some of the storms last night that dissipated real quick. Now out of the area, again, just a very slight chance of a 20% chance or so of some thunderstorms this afternoon. On the weather map this morning, the big story is going to be high pressure that's going to continue to keep all that precipitation and all that action well off to the west, and that southerly and southwesterly flow is going to give us lots of heat and humidity right down through the weekend into early next week. So it's going to be a very hot day out there today, maybe hotter than yesterday if you can believe that. And you can see as we finally get into Sunday, still high pressure in control, very warm air moving up into the state with temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s at least. So much cooler out the west, but it's going to be a while before that can get in here, probably middle or end of next week. As far as precipitation, again, over the next 7 days, very minimal amounts unless you get under a thunderstorm. And I really want to emphasize that. Like we saw yesterday, most areas didn't see any precipitation. But again, if you get under a thunderstorm, you can get a whole lot more than this. But for a basin-wide average, looks like about a tenth or two across much of the area here. Much of that coming later next week, maybe into that Tuesday, Wednesday period as that front moves through. All the main precipitation well off to our northwest here over the next 7 days. And as far as the extended outlook, you can see temperature-wise, we do begin to cool down as we get into the 8 to 14 day outlook, the tail end of the 6 to 10. So probably around days 8, 9, or 10, That's when we expect some of that cooler air to begin to filter into the area. That'd be for around next Wednesday or Thursday or Friday of next week. As far as precipitation, near to below normal expected, so let's hope we can get some precipitation, maybe with some of the scatter storms today, and then again around Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. But again, right now, I just don't see any soaking rains, and we could certainly use a couple of those. As far as the forecast goes, sunny, hot, and humid. A chance of an afternoon or evening thunderstorm, highs in the low, possibly mid 90s in some areas, and then we're going to stay into the upper 80s with to low 90s with sunshine, hot and humid right on through the weekend. And even as we come back Monday to the work week and school, looks like hot and humid again with highs in the mid 80s to around 90. And even Tuesday looks like warm with highs at least in the mid 80s with plenty of sunshine. Maybe some thunderstorms moving in late for Tuesday into early Wednesday. And on the weather watch this morning, you can see just a small area of dense fog. We could see some more fog into the area this morning across the southern lower Michigan area, but right now no dense fog advisories. Severe thunderstorm warnings were ongoing across central Minnesota this morning. Heat advisory for the Minneapolis-St. Paul area today, highs in the low 90s and heat index is around 100. I'm almost surprised we don't see anything for Michigan here again with our temperatures at least in the low 90s. Especially in the bigger cities, I would think we'd saw some heat advisories for today. And then red flag warnings out into the southwest plains. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a great day, a great weekend, and 73s to all.